All right. And ladies, do you know where all these classes, I basically record almost every class, not everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say things that I don't want to record, and so I'm like, I don't want those. But many of the classes are recorded. Do you know where to find those classes? It's free.
No.
I saw a link there.
I'll
but-
send a link across every single, so you can go back and look at every figure drawing class that has been recorded. You can go back and look at, and it's all free. And if you're that kind of person who likes to do that, then please feel welcome. And eventually you'll see yourself. And sometimes when you miss class, you'll hear us talking about you like, Kabir, where are you? All right, so as usual, we're going to start. I'm going to demonstrate charcoal eventually, but as usual, we're going to start with our 10 1-minutes. And I thought we might as well also, as usual, kind of practice that concept by working with the figure that we're going to work with. Don't worry, I've got 2 copies of this. So once we learn it. So I'm just doing the gesture.
Yeah, Leah, I already marked mine up.
Oh, did you?
So
Awesome.
hopefully it's right.
Good little student. Very good student. It's so helpful, isn't it?
It is.
And notice in some places, like this line will kind of jet through the middle of this arm.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's totally okay. And actually, it's probably a little bit more like bang, bang.
Can you use a different color, Leah?
Can I use a different color?
Yeah, I can see the red-ish color. Is it
Yeah,
red?
no, I'm having a little trouble.
Oh, that's better.
Is
Okay.
that better? I
Yeah.
think my camera is kind of kaputting. So
Okay.
I'll tell you what I will do is I'll send it to you.
Okay.
See it? Wait,
I can see it.
there. And actually, let me just do that right now. So I'm going to turn this off for a second and take a photo and send it across the thread. That's why we have the thread. And then eventually I'll get a new camera, which will be better, but you'll be able to see this much better. Oop. There we go.
Got it. Oh yeah, that's better.
Right. Are you finding yourself a little bit obsessive about figure drawing? I'm hoping you both are. Like, it's definitely
Yes.
one of those things that's good to get obsessive about it. Partly because
Yeah.
it's hard to get it like exactly right. Okay. So as usual, let's just do a little practice on this one. Remember, when we're trying to do a 1-minute, we start with this gesture. I'm not so worried about, and there's the hips, right? Which we I guess the hips really go up like this, kind of go up like that. So the hips go up like that. The shoulders come across like that. Arm. So such interesting lines. Yeah, even here, I'm like, I think this is going to be a very fun pose. I really do. And then, of course, we've got the circle, right? So the circle. And there's this kind of I'm circling the joints. Even if we can't see the joints, even if they're blocked by another part of the body, I'm still circling. So the head kind of looks like this. Without getting too fussy. The neck, notice, comes into the body. Shoulder here, shoulder here. Notice how far the neck comes in below the shoulder blades. That's one that we miss a lot, right? Yeah, Billy, in my heart of hearts, I kind of hope one day we can figure out something that maybe might help your kids with reading. That
Oh,
might be connected to this idea. And I haven't quite done it yet, but I'm open to the idea of trying. That's kind of, there you go. I mean, it looks ridiculous right now. I haven't really measured, right? I'm mostly just following the gesture. And look at how much my lines are kind of, oh, hi, Melissa.
Hello.
We're just practicing the gesture on this one. So you can quick, we're gonna do 10 1 minutes. So let me, hold on. While you guys are finishing that one, I'm gonna call up. Ow. I know. I know. Hold on.
mine looks silly.
It's all supposed to look silly, right? Don't worry. We're gonna work on this. But I have a feeling there's something about the exaggeration of it that's gonna be really fun as we start to measure. Okay, we're gonna share here. So once again, we're gonna do all genders, adults. We want nude models. Although this model isn't nude, but for practice, I think we want them. And then 60 seconds. All right, are we ready to do our 10 1 minutes?
Sure.
Yes.
Good. Before you start, I want you to take just a second and write down 1 or 2 words that conveys how you might be feeling as you're going into class. I'm going to revisit this. That's all. You don't have to talk about it. We don't have to say anything about it. Just write it down. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good and relaxed and excited and ready? Are you tired? Are you, whatever it is? Are you sick of the dang rain? Are you sick of the snow? Whatever it is that you're feeling.
We have inside recess again.
Right? All right. And when you've got that, just put it aside. What I want to notice is how things change before the end of by the end of the lesson. All right, are we ready? 10 1 minutes. Let's do it. Oh yes, this one. It's always her. She's such a weirdo. There is a certain cartoony thing that's kind of going on here. So sometimes this little goofy gore, she shows up as a model sometimes. Actually I think she's got a fantastic kind of presence, but I'm just like, really? We have to do the blood. The fakey blood just seems dumb to me. Oh boy. Okay, next one. Oh, this guy. I like him. New. Boy, he would be great. His name. So many men carry all their weights right there in the belly. So interesting. Yes. That's a great foreshortened pose. She's pointing a sword right at us. should try to. Ooh, that's a lovely pose. Ooh, look at that. I'm sorry. Well, I can't. I was gonna say, I'm gonna, oh, you know what? I totally can. I'm gonna take a picture of that one. Because that's one we might try sometime. Come on, don't do this to me, okay? I'm feeling. Wait. Picture of that. Awesome. You get to the point in figure drawing where you're not really interested in what is traditionally considered a beautiful model. You start to really be fascinated by all the different body shapes. Everything. Your whole sense of beauty changes and interest changes. This guy is a fabulous model. Interesting. That's a good foreshortening pose too. Actually, you might fuck it. Take a picture of that one too. I'm kind of collecting images. This is a great site and I have to take photos. It won't let me do it any other way now, but I'm collecting images for later practice. This one could be fun because it's deceptively simple. But when you start to deal with those thighs, right?
And that thigh is messing me up.
It's messing you up, right? So that I think it's worth it to spend a little time. Not today, of course, but maybe next week. I do love these poses, the hanging poses. And she could probably hold this, but not for very long. I mean, she's on her tiptoes. It's a very, that is kind of the neat thing. I don't think anyone could hold this pose for very long. So to have it in a photograph form is nice. Eventually we'll move on to anatomy. But I want us to stay with foreshortening for a little while because it's so essential. to all figure drawing poses. Like the more we focus on it, I think the more equipped you guys are going to feel to deal with it when it comes. These are new photos, so I guess this is a new photo series. So I guess they're kind of circulating. Some of these poses I've been seeing for years. I think this is the last one. All right. Everybody feeling warmed up?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to remove the spotlight for a second. Show me. Hi, Mariana. Nice to see you, sweetie.
Hello.
Hello. So let's show me your bet, like whatever you think is your best. Melissa, I can't see. There we go. Nice. Oh, nice. Nice, you guys. You too, Mariana.
I
Here,
didn't do it. I'm sorry. I was late.
oh, you didn't do them? Okay. Let's see. One of the reasons we do these, I think, okay, here we go. Here's a bunch of mine. I don't know. They're kind of fun to look at. They have this kind, oh, very nice, Charlotte. I love that one on the right, particularly.
Yeah.
And the dude standing, I
That
think
one?
got the
Yeah.
guy with the belly, like really nicely.
Yeah, he does.
One of the things that's really fun about these is that you really start to, as you get into it and do it more, they have their own kind of beauty, right? They're not really about perfection. They are more about focusing on like, how is each person kind of standing and looking at us and looking at these minute differences. And so they have a kind of elegance, even though they're messy. All right, so let's hop back up here. I'm going to use charcoal today, but you don't have to. You can use pencil. I mean, right now we're working on stuff that's so hard. Here, hold on. Here we go. Okay. I know my camera's not absolutely fabulous for this, and I do have a second copy of this. So once we get past the initial construction, we will go into it. So as usual, I'm going to tone my paper dark. I'm using like the edge of my charcoal And I'm going really heavy dark, and I don't know if you can see this, but like this side is darker. The right side right now is darker. And sometimes I have to switch charcoals in the middle because the charcoal's kind of given up on me. Remember, we don't want to use compressed charcoal because we can't erase that. There we go. And I want to show you why I go so heavy dark. Because if I erase out, we start by erasing. If I erase from here, I don't really see it very well. But if I erase from here, I see it really well. See the difference? So I do this because people have a tendency to be kind of shy with this technique. But the darker you go, the better it is.
Did you want us to go ahead and do that, or you
Yeah,
just?
yeah. If you're going to
Okay.
use charcoal, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. And then when you've done that, we'll start looking at measurements. Also, the front of her body. Let me look at this for a minute. So we've got. I'm going to use a different color. Maybe yellow. I'll take a picture of this so you guys can have it. It's like a yellow charcoal. So I can get kind of what's in front. Right. And then in this particular case, notice how what's, actually I'll do this with a different color so you can really see it. Pink. Notice how, okay, what's in back, how much it interacts with what's in front. Can you see that? Like before, like most of our foreshortening has been like, there's this piece, the front is here and then the back is over here, or the front is here and the back is over here. In this particular case, the front, which is in yellow, is here, the biggest shape, and the back really intersects into that. Can you see that? Back here. Right, and the arm is kind of blocking it. So one of the things that's helpful about this one is if we find the height of this one, everything else fits within it. So if I was to use the head, how many heads high, including her head, is this model? How many heads? What's the vertical distance? Here, I'll move it.
I have like 4.25, maybe 4.33.
Does anybody else have a different?
Run a little bit.
3, 4. Yeah, 4 and a little bit more than 4.
Yeah.
Good job. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4.25 exactly, Charlotte. Maybe 4.5. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really close.
It's close. Yeah. Let's draw 5 heads. Right. And here's the plumb line. This is what's happening kind of directly right underneath the center of the face. Super helpful, right? What's on this side, what's on that side. So I'm going to start here by kind of to the right, marking my own. I'm not making it the same sizes, although I seem to have accidentally done that. But I don't have to worry about this being the same size as this. It's proportion that we're concerned with. So as long as the number of heads is the same, it doesn't matter how big or small you make them. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to mark 5 down here. And for those who have a little trouble seeing this, I'm going to mark it. Well, I guess it's hard to see. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So we start with that. And then how many heads wide is she? So if I were to take her head like this and come here, 1, 2, how many heads wide is she? Notice I've taken this and flipped it on its side. How many heads wide is she? Oops, sorry. Here we go.
About 2 1/4 is what I have.
Yeah, let's see. Does anybody have anything different? 1, 2, yeah, 2 1/4, 2.5. Really, 2 1/4 from here, but if you go over here, there's a little.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 2.5.
Right. So now I'm gonna come, let's see. Well, I know that my beginning envelope starts about here, midway between my head 4 and 5. And if I'm gonna go across, it's like, yeah, let me measure it like this first. Okay. 1. I think it's too long to do. Head 1. Head 2. Let's say 3. Almost 3. So over here, as well, if you want to, draw this kind of line down the middle. So you know, okay, I'm going to kind of position on this side and then make your measurements. 1, and 1, and 2.
Leah, where's the plumb line on the picture? Is it the pink one that goes down her arm?
Yeah, it's this thing that runs through the center of her face, and it's called a plumb line because I'm looking to see what if I dropped a line directly down. I'll take a picture. So
Okay.
you can, it's a little hard to see.
And is it before the first mark for the head length? Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're asking, my dear. So let me figure this out. Right. The plumb line is here. It goes down the middle of her face.
Okay.
And then it just keeps going.
Okay.
So that you
But
can.
does it go through her hand? Okay.
It's let me take a picture so you can see it a little better. It's my camera is not fabulous, so let me do. I think all will be answered when I take a picture and send it over to you. Excuse me. And let me know if you still can't see it. But yes, it's the pink line is the plumb line.
Okay.
Here we are. There's the picture. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I can see it better there. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is hard to see, and yeah, and I need to be able to get it's just like I said, my phone is kind of on its last legs, and I finally paid for it, so my phone bill's like really low, and I don't want to like buy another phone until I have to, but I can feel the camera just going, yep, not working. So here I've got this shape, and then I can kind of come up here, over, and then I can see when I come down at an angle here that it's like a little bit below and out. See how I'm kind of lining up this outside line with how it matches with the heads. Where is this? So where does this start to bend? It bends kind of below the head here. And if I want to, I can also check, at various places, how wide is it? Using my head length, I can check. Do I have that too wide? Is this point here is almost 2, 1, 2. All right, so mine's come out a little far. never fear. Easy to do that. So I just corrected that. And I know where this goes because this is kind of at an angle from here. Oh, my biggest issue is I'm going to bend out a little bit. There we go. So this is my yellow line. This is the foreshortened part. This is the front part, my envelope. At any point, I can check, is my width right here by using, and I like to do that. Yep. I love kind of checking at the various head points, how wide things are. Yep. So you can kind of constantly do that. And then the next thing I'm going to do is place in this pink shape here, which is the back. So that goes, you can see where it starts. It starts here. It lines up with the bottom of head 2. So if I just come right over here, much higher than I thought. 1, 2. Like a 1, 2, and then over like this. And then this, it intersects back just below head 3. So it kind of goes, bang, it's like a, all right, and then it's in here. And the knee is kind of in relation to this head over here. This edge kind of intersects right with this head point. And then, let's see, it kind of angles down and over. So this is the front and this is the back. So I'm going to let you guys get to this. And can you see that you're already starting to see her? We're already, even with these weird little shapes, she's already starting, we're already starting to get a feeling of form. So this is not a waste of time. This is, yeah, actually, this is great. We have some great negative space. If you want to, go ahead and jump ahead, but I would like to see your measurements here. What I don't want to do is, like, by the end of class, you give me something, tell me to fix something when, like, right, I haven't gotten a chance to look at the measurements. So I appreciate being able to look at the measurements. If you have any doubts about this, if you're feeling good, keep going. Because then, of course, and I'm still doing this with my, eraser. Then, of course, I can add in my gesture lines. Right, here's my neckline. Here is the shoulder line. And here's my elbow and my hand. Right, so I can start to get those gestures in. And then here, I'll take a look at that in 1 second, Billy. Thank you. Right. There. Here, I can kind of start to sketch those in now. This gesture really follows along the edge. It looks so cool already, actually. Looks, I mean, even just these, adding these pieces in, it feels counterintuitive, but it really does make sense. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to take a look. Anybody else who wants me to check?
Is your 3 heads wide?
Yeah, I'm 3 heads wide.
I did mine too short, I think.
Yes, you did. You did indeed. So scoot her out just a little. I'm making her 3. Yeah. I'm really looking at the hand.
I got it quite a bit wrong. Okay, I'll fuss
Right.
with it.
Right? So yeah, that's okay. It's not much. It's just a little bit. Yeah. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, Billy, this is 5. You're also too. You're not tall enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5.
Okay.
It is intellectually challenging. This is totally intellectually rigorous. All right, I'm going to take a look at yours, Charlotte. Good. That looks good. 1, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. The great news, Billy, is that, Charlotte, this is up higher.
Oh.
If you look, you'll see, look here. It's up, it's lined up with the bottom of head 2.
Oh, wow.
I know. I had the same reaction. You might have even heard me say it as I was sketching. I kind of mumbled it.
Oh, I was getting her hip, not that waist. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. This is here. The waist comes down, but like this starts higher. It starts lined up with the 3rd. It's so crazy. Doesn't feel like it should, but it totally does. And this is why it's like sometimes hard. Like some days we're just exhausted, emotionally. I'm trying to do this because it's like, it's easy to get tangled up in measurements, but so much easier to correct measurements than to do it wrong and then to wonder why it's not working out.
I need to go find some more charcoal. I'll be back.
Excellent. Mariana, for everybody who came in, for you, I just want to say, because everybody else I asked to do the same thing. If you want to, for just a moment, write down a couple of words that suggest how you feel, that describe how you feel coming into class, whether it's tired, whether it's excited, whether it's blah, 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 feeling whatever it is. Go ahead and write those down, and then we're going to look at them again at the end of class. You don't have to just write it down.
Okay.
It's interesting. Everybody felt different. We'll talk about it at the end of class. I'll tell you, it's quite a fun exercise. And once I feel like we've got things in the right places, there's a couple of like, yeah, I'm going to do this with a marker. These are some great negative spaces.
All right, I'm going to send you another one, Leah. I don't know.
Perfect. So I'm sketching in a couple of these negative spaces just to show you kind of how you can begin to sketch out, to shape out. Oh, right. And of course, this one. And this one. Okay. So you see how I've kind of shaped out all the places that the sort of outside shapes of her. Let's see. All right, let's see. One, two, three, four, 4.5. Yeah, there you go, Billy.
Is that better?
Good. Yep. Looks good to me. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It looks wonderful. Nice that you got that little nip up here on the left, bottom left. Good. I know it feels like that hip should not be so high, but it totally is, which is why, like, and let's see, Charlotte. Okay, and I see you're starting there, but Charlotte, even before you go there, nice dark, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm going to say, yeah, this starts here. Yep, that looks pretty good. I mean, you're going to tweak this shape a little. It comes out a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel like it
Yeah, but you'll
does.
tweak it as you're working it, but you'll be able to tweak it as you're working it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So excellent. Good job. Nice. Nice and clear. Send it over if you want me to. So now you've got these things, right? We've got these areas. Crazy. I've got like this thing. So I'm actually carving out the shapes of her by using these negative space shapes. And once again, I'm placing them kind of in their relationship to the plumb line and also the heads. This one kind of comes out like that. It stays on the left side of the plumb line. This one. At some point it might be hard to. Then there's that. And then this one is helpful because of how the hand kind of relates to the knee. That. They're just helpful markers. And then there's this crazy shape in here. You have a much better chance of getting it right. I probably haven't totally gotten it right, but look at that. Like we're constructing by carving, like we're stone carvers or something. At this point, I'll probably send a picture of this across and this, and then I'm going to remove this and put this up so we can see the other things that are happening. But once you've got this, I like to go in and start erasing lights. Other people may want to go in and start darkening first. You can actually do either one. It's valid. Everything's kind of a little bit lighter up here. Face. Don't get too caught up in the face unless you've got the figure down. That's my recommendation to you. It's going to mess you all up in your head. We will work on the face, but work the figure first. All right, I'm going to take a picture of this, both of them, and then and of course you can totally do the same thing I'm doing with this eraser and this charcoal with a pencil and paper. It's just you're not erasing. Anyway, you know. Okay, Melissa, I'm going to take a look at that in a second. That's I'm gonna take a picture of both. You can see them kind of next to each other. You know, you're at the end of this quarter, I'm going to hire a model who's going to pose for you live. So no printing out is allowed. That will be our like kind of graduation from this quarter. I mean, we'll continue working, of course, but expect that in June.
Right on.
It's going to be fun. I mean, in a way, we're still dealing with a flattened, oh yeah, let me look, Melissa. Shit. I know. Okay. Let's see. Up here. Okay. Okay, so Melissa, here's your issue. This, your envelope needs to come out on the other side here of this line. So that's the first thing I see. Oh, yeah, right. You've put the arm and basically you've put the plumb line, which is here where the head measurements are, is on the inside of your envelope.
Oh, I put it on the outside. Okay.
Yep. So you see, you're going to have a problem there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Everything looks good. So erase and bring like this
Bring it in.
envelope on the other side, and then I think you'll see the arm kind of comes, the face, right? The plumb line shows that like this part of the arm, most of this arm is on the other side of the face, on the right side. The rest of the figure is really kind of under the right side of the, or the left side of the face. Yeah. It's easy to get mixed up. It's an easy mistake to make. And now that you have that, I'm going to switch this out. So we've got her. And now I'm going to go in, now that I have some pieces, and start. Now that I kind of have my figure sketched out, I'm going to start going in and doing my darks. Okay. It's kind of dark under the chin here, the neck. There's this shadow here on the neck. Notice how the neck comes down into the body, and then on this side of the body, and it lines up. Yeah. 1, 2. Yep, that's about right. Everything, as usual in drawing, if an area is dark and it looks dark, that's because it's next to a lighter area. If an area is light, it's because it's next to a dark area. So you've got to think about both the thing that, whatever you're focusing on, your lights or your darks, you're dealing with both the thing that you're drawing and the thing next to what you're drawing. Which is why people think this is hard. Like, that's why people are like, that's hard. Okay, so I can see. I'm coming back in and rechecking my poses. I can see that here is where the arm kind of springs off and gets darker. Here, the arm is darker in the background. 2, 3. See how I'm having to refer consistently back to my sheet? Like I'm kind of wishing I had my little measurement thing, even though it's a little hard to read. And I might even here erase out my negative space because it'll be easier to see kind of how the arm fits. See that when I did that, that helped me kind of figure out and place my arm. And I can even also, at this point, kind of do outlines. If you're having trouble seeing things, it's also okay, totally valid to add in an outline. It's around the contour edge of the form. Look at how beautifully this figure is starting to emerge. This is an enjoyable one. Even though there's a lot of measurements. Oh, and now I see what last week we worked on a drawing where the person who was doing the instruction kept saying the overlap. There is an area where like this front section here kind of overlaps into the back section. Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's even a little bit of a lost edge here. So that's what they were talking about. There's this kind of way in foreshortening, there's a little bit. Yeah. Beautiful. What a beautiful pose. Totally fun. Oh yeah, this is much smaller. Remember how much smaller this leg in the back is and how much larger this leg in the front is. So even though technically this is the back half of her, this part is kind of intruding into the front. It's teeny tiny, this leg. This part by the knee, from the knee to here is kind of thick. And then this bottom part is really small. Even this is doing a little bit of foreshortening. The top of the leg and the bottom of the leg. The bottom of the leg is going back, so it's smaller. And the top of the leg is coming forward, so it's a little bit bigger. So if you kind of look at it from, I know I shouldn't be sketching this too much, but do look at this shape, right? When we're drawing and painting, we're often taking things apart and putting them back together in very weird ways. And they have less to do with what they are and how they relate to each other until, you know, like verbally, conceptually, and more, where are they in relationship to each other? What's what's closest? What's farthest away? So we're kind of constantly, I think that's the real intellectual exercise. And to me, I see that the people in sort of real life who get closest to it are mechanics. Mechanics have to think like this to be able to kind of pull apart car engines. Also, who else is like this? Do this for their job. Fascinating how this is. It's mostly dark. These funky areas in the top, interesting shadows. She's being lit from a couple of different directions. I'm treating the fingers a lot the way I would the rest of it, the figure, which is I'm actually looking at the negative spaces between them. This would be absolutely impossible if we had not measured it, I think. I think it would be absolutely impossible to do this. If you're not measuring, it's not really. So I'm going to stop here, and whatever you want to, you guys just work. And whenever you want to, send something in for me to look at it. Once you've got the figure down, then totally go for the face. Try it. I'm finding that background is really important. So darkening and lightening around the figure is also important to help showcase what's actually going on with the figure. I'm coming back in and adding more lights. Because sometimes with charcoal particularly, it can get smeary. So interesting. And notice that some days you're better at this and some days you're not as good at it. And it's weird. It doesn't really have a rhyme or reason, Except that when you're very tired, it is sometimes really hard to wrap your mind around all the thinking that you have to do to get these structures in place. You know, what is the biggest thing that used to train us how to do this is when in school we used to practice handwriting something 100 times over, copying from the board. Teachers got rid of that. A lot of that, at least in America, I think a lot of teachers got rid of that practice. I'm hoping not, maybe Billy at the age you work with, but a lot of teachers thought that that was not creative. And it's the most important like thing that you have, skill that you have to develop in kids for them to be able to draw, to be able to look and copy and see, you know, and make shapes the way they are on the board. It's like the thing that everybody said, it's like that was like the thing that when I was growing up, everybody said was the least creative thing you could possibly do with your kids. And it's not just important creatively, it's important because it's a brain development thing. Like if you don't have manual dexterity, you can't handwrite, right? You can't do that. There's no like short way to do that.
Muscle memory too.
Bring back boring cursive and writing things down, copying from the board. That's what I say. Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. Yeah, I also feel like okay. There we go. Jump up. Oh, come on up. Al, come on up. Say hi. Say hi. Come on. You too high. Come here. Oh. Here is the form. I'm going to introduce you for a moment to my kitty. This is the former stray. Now he sits on, he wouldn't let any of us touch him 6 months ago. Now he is a petting slut. He cannot get enough of this.
Is he male?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I know. I know. Isn't he cute?
He's cute.
He's so cute. Yeah, look there. He's like, oh, yeah, that's crazy. Because he still is a feral. Not really anymore. Now I lock him in the studio at night so he'll stay inside. And But yeah, he wouldn't let us any of us touch him at all. Like, and when we first started petting him, he was like, I don't even know what this is. Oh my God, but I'm addicted. Like, kind of throw himself at you, and like he wanted to be petted, but he doesn't really, like, because he's a feral cat, he didn't really know how to handle that. It was all very quite funny. Melissa, do you have a kitty?
No, I always wanted one though.
Oh,
I would like to get one. I've been thinking about getting one.
you should get one.
Yeah, because I live in an apartment and it would be easy, I think, because I like dogs, but I feel like dogs are a lot more and they need more space too. So
They do, but a cat from a rescue would be very happy.
in an apartment,
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Rather than being outside, absolutely. By the way, I want you to look at how I just used the eraser on the face. How even though I haven't really worked on the face, just using the eraser on the face really suggests a lot. Let's see, Charlotte. Very nice, honey. Nice. All right, 1, 2.
Like her shoulders off.
Yeah,
Easier to
her
see stuff in
shoulder is
pictures.
a little bit bigger. So her shoulder, her shoulder is bigger. And also
Yeah, it is.
this measurement, but it's coming. That's totally fixable. And remember, this is the thing that we tell ourselves, like, this arm is bigger than this arm.
Right.
Right.
And that
Right.
back arm
The
looks bigger right
joint
now.
that's coming toward the knee. Look at how all of I guess in some ways, maybe you could split this slightly differently. Like, let's see. Like this is the back, right? It's true that this is the back half, but part of this is coming forward. Which is
Right.
that's the most interesting about it. Check the measurement between here and here, because that will tell you so kind of how wide to make it.
Okay.
Here and go. Okay, it's like a 1.5 heads, and then this distance from here to where the shoulder. Here's the armpit. This is the shoulder blade.
Okay.
That's like 2/3 of a head wide and the same height as the head.
Okay.
So they do that too. A little bit more. So let me double check that. Let me do that. All right, so that width is good. But yeah, actually mine isn't too off. It's kind of this awkward wide shape up here. And then it gets narrower. There are last edges, so it's a little bit hard to see. And then there's, of course, also that. That thing can also help kind of define it. The light t-shirt line.
Yeah, the t-shirt line.
It's also kind of hitting it at this weird, a little awkward angle. I'm still working on mine. So don't worry, not like it's. Oh, interesting. But you're still got a good result fairly quickly, which is one of the things I love about charcoal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if you stopped here, sure you didn't, there's a couple of things you didn't really get, but people would look at that and go, dang, that's cool. How'd you do that? And you'll be like, magic. It's magic. Yeah, in fact, the way her shoulder kind of muscles kind of bulge out, tell me that she's leaning more here. Also, don't do what I just did and lean on your charcoal. I just lost all of my. I think she's leaning back. And on this arm, and that's why this arm is kind of pooching out a little bit. Or maybe, like, I'm gonna get into the position and see if I can figure out what the hell she's doing. It feels to me like when I look at this pose, it looks to me like the weight. No, she's leaning here. This is lighter, right? This side is kind of, you can tell because of the way she's lifting up that she's fighting gravity here, which means she's leaning on this side. So this shoulder is a little bit of a heavier. So fun, this one. Yeah. You might notice that I've sent across the thread a few other figures. Billy asked for a couple of extra practices, like the ones we did last week, where they're not real figures, they're kind of more stick figures. So I sent some fun ones over. But also, if you can get your hands on that book, you'll find a lot of plates where you can practice these things. I put the face and I messed it up, so I'm not messing with it. You would like to, you guys want to do it, we'll work on it a little bit, but I don't feel, really what we're dealing with is more foreshortening than anything else. So face, we don't need to, unless you want to. We've got about 15 minutes left. If you need me to look at anything, send it in. But if you're just working, just get into the zone of this weird and interesting figure. Her head, of course, is coming the most forward of all, so it's kind of really one of the things that's the most foreshortened, the biggest is coming towards us. And just so that you know, these classes will be going on all year. I mean, besides the 1 week break I take between quarters, the schedule stays pretty consistent. So even in the summer, we will be here if you want to be here. You can, of course, come as much as or as little as you like to. You don't need to be here all the time. People do stuff, but these classes kind of, the idea is that we can never really practice this too much,
No doubt.
right? Like however much we return. Once we're done with perspective, we'll do a foreshortening. We'll do a couple more classes on that. Then we'll do a class on hands and a class on feet. Deal with the skeletal structures of hands and feet. So we'll do a little practice on that so we can understand what's going on, and you'll see why it's so hard. My hands and feet are impossible. We'll do a little bit of practice on those. Love the sound of scratching on paper.
You're okay.
What's that? I'll be up in a minute. Okay, I'm just looking at her. It's fascinating. It's riveting.
All right. We got about 5 minutes left. Unless you guys feel ready to show it. So we want to, actually, let's do that. I'm going to remove the spotlight and I want you to flip them around for just a minute. Let's see. Then we'll work for another 5 minutes if you want to. Ooh, very nice, Melissa. Beautiful, you guys. Beautiful. Mariana, her head. The only thing I want to say is here, these are gorgeous, you guys. You have her neck extending too far up. Can you see how it is? I'm going to show you here. Here, I'm going to do this and you'll see. This is an easy thing to miss. We want to like bring the neck up, right? Here's the neck. Here on that side. See that? How far down it is below. And then here, it's up here.
Mm,
So if you can correct that.
yeah.
So our mistake is always to try and I think it comes from this. Don't laugh, but I think it comes from this, what we did as little girls, right? We made these goofy necks that is not really what the neck, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? We all so we think the neck rises up above, but for the most part, the neck is almost always sinking in to the chest.
Okay.
So it comes below the shoulder blades.
Mhm.
That will help you with that perspective. Everybody else, these are beautiful, you guys. I'm like impressed. Yeah, hold on, Charlotte. I want to hold that up. I want to hold that up. Oh, Nice. Billy, I'm gonna do that too for you. I'm gonna hold it up again. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Billy, I love the way you got her head kind of sitting. Sure. I mean, you guys, these are gorgeous. Once more, I'm gonna like remove all the spotlights. Let's see, so we can all see equally. Remove the spotlight, remove the spotlight, remove the spotlight. I want to see one more, hold it up one more time. We'll work on it for a couple more minutes and then hold it up. If you're ready, hold it up. I am super pleased with this. I love how everybody kind of paid attention to the measurements. I love what the charcoal does. It comes, so really look at this. Yeah, I'll have you, Mariana, like look at this. You can do this, bring this down later. Oh my God, you guys, these are great. Are you pleased?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think you could do, I mean, like, here's the thing, like, that's a hard pose. Like, I think everybody handled the measurements well. Notice how easy it is. I won't say easy, but I will say, notice how manageable it is once you get the things in. Mariana, I'm going to send this over so you can see where the neck is going.
Okay.
Because you're still making it rise. It's going at an angle. Right? I can't show it. Yeah. Right. It's going at an angle. I can't do it because I have to go the opposite direction of what it's messing with my head too much. Just I'm going to take a picture of this so you can really see what's happening. What you think is happening with the neck is not happening. So you got to look at what's really happening rather than what we think should be happening with the neck. So these are there. Which is kind of like the lesson of perspective, right? What we think is happening is not really happening. Oh yeah, send across your finished ones, you guys. These are beautiful. Great work. We might try a couple of those simple poses that we saw next week. I like the woman with her back. And I liked the guy with the thighs coming towards us because those are really like, what's going on with their perspective wise. So we'll work a little bit more on foreshortening. Yes, send them through. Please send them through, all of them. They're really gorgeous. And before we go, I want you to look at the words that you wrote to say how you were feeling at the beginning of class and maybe share them. And say if they've changed since the class started. So does anybody want to start with that?
Yeah, I definitely changed. I mean, I feel much more relaxed. And
yeah, what were the words that you wrote down?
I was just basically stressed, just stressed and tired. And now I feel relaxed and happy.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah. Anybody else notice a shift?
I mean, kind of. I was anticipatory and ready, and now I'm just kind of feeling good.
Yeah, like job well done, right? Anybody else?
I was very routine organized. Yeah, it's just get this done, get this done, get this done. And
You're feeling it. You're on it today. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm calmer now.
Calmer. Yeah. It's calmer. What about you, Mariana? Can you remember? Like what? I know we didn't have you. How did you feel at the beginning of class? How do you feel now?
I don't know. I always feel too tired, and I hesitate to start because I know it's going to be 2 hours and I'm too tired. So that's typically my mindset.
Yes.
But then
And then by the end,
I feel better. I feel less stressed and
less
relaxed.
tired, right?
Yeah.
That always happens to me too. I felt I came in a little bit tired to this class. My voice is like, I'm struggling with the voice. So I want to share with you what happened this morning because we did a 2-part class. It was a painting class. And so one woman was like, I am completely stressed and anxious. I have a trip I'm going on. I'm like totally not ready for it. I'm feeling fat. I'm blah, blah, blah. Like she said, all kinds of things. By the end of class, absolutely all the anxiety went away, particularly the stuff that's not related to drawing. One woman started out feeling excited, and because we did not finish our painting, she felt kind of like a little worried by the end of class. Also very valid, right? Because she doesn't really, because the paintings, here, I'll show you, they're funny. You know, we ended our paintings looking like this. Wait, that's upside down.
Yeah,
Right?
a little unsettled.
Like, I'm a little bit worried. Like, and so I wanted to share that with you. Those are two really great things. One is to notice, particularly things that aren't related to drawing, that drawing should resolve them if you're feeling anxious. And if you're really on point, like you're just ready to grab all the instructions, that's like even better. Like Charlotte or like Billy today, you're like even better. But sometimes you will end a lesson feeling like you're not sure if you did a good job or not. And that is also a valid point. And I want you to, even though it's uncomfortable to be there, I want you to own that, because that's where all the learning is happening. So sometimes in the middle of it, it'll feel confusing. It'll feel like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. That is exactly when things start to shift. And even though we want to move out past that because it's not very comfortable, no, both of those things can happen. Great work, everybody. Have a great night. Mariana, rest and relax. The latest of all of us. And everybody else, I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Wonderful work.